And there we go. Welcome to another edition of Tomato Talk. Top of mind, advancing through obstacles. Well, seems like it doesn't seem like, but the world is facing one giant obstacle as we stand right now and take a look at this, what's going on over in Ukraine. Absolutely incredible. It just is so unbelievably sad. That this whole thing has come to be, by what looks like the actions of one person. It's really Putin. The one that wants to do what? Really, what is he looking to really achieve by this whole thing? Well, let that one sit there for those that are smarter than I am to go figure that one out, and there is quite a bit. But I just really truly wonder what it is that we're going to gain from all of this stuff. What it is that's going to be the final outcome over here. Where do we go? What do we do in the rest of this stuff? How do we avoid all of these wars again? And it seems like it's just like it's permanent part of our fabric. It's terrible. And I mean our, I'm talking like the whole from a world standpoint. Just really something else. Why? Why? Throughout the Mid East, it's just going on for thousands of years throughout everything. You take a look at so many territorial battles, religious battles, everything. It just kind of keeps going. When will we go and figure out that the world will be a better place without that going on? I don't rightly know. I don't know. I don't know how it'll all we'll go figure that one out. I don't know. Hey, yesterday I was chatting about it, also. Um, wanted to make a little bit of a continuation today, but there's a lot of good in this world. We just got to go figure out how to highlight that, quite a bit more than what it is that we're doing, at this point in time. So where does that begin? Oh, it probably begins just with like little small actions that we take all the time, making decisions, making it happen one way or the other, helping somebody out, doing something that's good, doing something, sharing information about that. And there's so many things that are going on, actually by the people of Ukraine, for the people in Ukraine, and for a lot of the world helping out too. It's just incredible. That one photo with the strollers with people leaving strollers at these train stations. This way, when the folks that are leaving Ukraine wind up in Poland, Hungary, or wherever they get to, there's strollers there waiting for them. This way, they could use that. It's absolutely incredible. Spoke to a friend of mine who actually still has friends, in Ukraine at this point in time. Speaks to them frequently. Actually, she gave me a TV show to go watch, which is actually from Ukraine. In Ukraine, it is by Ukrainians. It is by the folks that are living there. Problem is, it's not translated, so I don't know what it is that they're saying. But this is like real, honest to goodness, up to the minute news that people and what they're going through right now. Actually, right now, she told me a few stories. Some of them, well, one day she'll be on. She get to tell those stories. We'll leave that as a bit of a cliffhanger with the whole thing. But the good, the good that some people do is just absolutely amazing. We wind up in various situations where it's just so hard to reach out and do the right thing with different stuff. But then again, people do that. They do it. I'm just going to pop over here. I just want to make one little change as we go through this whole thing. But there's a whole bunch of people that really are doing the right thing. And it's those stories, it's those activities, it's those actions that do need to be highlighted, can be highlighted, should be highlighted. And I would love to kind of highlight. I looked at this whole thing here with this program guests and stuff like that. It's like, how do we get people on? How do we? No, it's not how do we get people on. It's how do we find? How do we find people that are sharing good stories, people that are sharing positive stuff, and continue to highlight that? It's sad to say, but continue to get the attention of everybody else with it. it's so much more attention grabbing, right? Violence and stuff like that. When somebody screws up someplace, to go see a car accident or something, people doing these silly stunts. I mean, go watch TV now, right? Um, not one of those shows that people doing these crazy stunts, crazy stuff. Why do we watch that? To see them succeed, or possibly it's to see them fail, to see them crash. Eeks. I've been a fan of car racing for quite a while, and it's like, that's always one of those things that come out there. Is, oh yeah, people like to watch the cars crash. I'm sure there's a percentage of people who do like to see the cars crash. Other folks like to see the driving skills that are there, how they maneuver around different cars, around turns, the road racing tracks, not just the circular tracks and things like that. How to get the most amount of power down to make things work, that kind of stuff. The dramatic aspect of the whole thing, the skills that are behind it. If you watch a car go around in circles, it's one thing. But if you understand the effort that's put into it to make sure the car actually turns, handles properly, gets the most amount of speed, there's so much more going on behind the scenes. Do we pay attention to that? This is just one example. Do we pay attention to that? Is that an attention grabber? Or is it more someone that thinks crash and stuff like that? So what is it? With with what's going on in Ukraine right now, what's the attention grab on that? Watching these apartment buildings get blown up? Wow. Watching these lives get destroyed? Wow. Well, maybe it should be is seeing those pictures of those strollers, hearing the stories of people that are going above and beyond to help out. Maybe, maybe that's the whole answer to everything right then and there. Maybe the answer to everything is really about how one person helps somebody else succeed. Whoa, wouldn't that be fascinating? Maybe the story there is how somebody gave the coaching, mentoring, the resources to somebody, not to give it to them to do, but to guide them in their achievement. This way they could do something more than they ever thought possible. Those Ukrainian citizens that are walking around with these guns that are defending their property, I'm sure a lot of them never imagined that scenario playing out. I'm sure a lot of them never imagined they'd be pointing a gun to at somebody else to defend their property, to defend their land, to defend their way of life. Couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I just cannot imagine what that would be like if we were sitting here today and you had to go defend your property like that. Yeah, I mean, I know there are laws. There's some case over here right now. Off-duty police officer shot, killed somebody, definitely shot somebody. And was he right to do it? I think the answer to that was yes. Is right to do it. You get a right to defend your property and safety and self-defense and all the rest of that stuff. But then there's the question of actually doing that. Actually doing that. And there's also different aspects of it. Look, if somebody comes and they're gonna punch you or something like that, it's unexpected. You just whatever your bodily uh, reaction is, reaction would be. Your immediate reaction to that, would be on adrenaline flows, stuff like that. You just do what you do when you need to do sometimes what you need to do in order to protect yourself. But then these citizens, they're not one. It's not just an all of a sudden thing. It's not just like all of a sudden you're walking down the street and somebody jumps out at you. You just react without thinking. What they're doing, they are reacting with thinking. That is premeditated. That sounds whatever, but it's premeditated. There's thought process. What's going on to the whole thing? In other words, if somebody attacks you without you thinking about it, you're just going to react. You don't think, you just react. Just react. If you're driving down the street and somebody swerves to you, you just react. You don't even think about it. You don't have time to think. You just do. Just natural to do. But what if that same scenario, you're driving down the street, that there's going to be some car or cars that are going to swerve towards you. I mean, it's a weird situation, but let's just assume that. Hey, if you're you're a bodyguard and you're learning defensive driving skills, you know somebody's going to be swerving at you, right? Because that's what you're practicing for. So there's a difference in I think the approach to that whole thing, your own mental attitude toward it, because you're driving down the street, you have no expectation that anything's going to happen. All of a sudden, something happens, you react. Or you go into school and you're learning how to be a defensive driver, and then you know it's coming, and you get a chance to think about it. What am I going to do in this situation? There's the difference. What am I going to do? Now, obviously, if this is your profession, you really should know how to do it, and you're going to learn. And then when it does happen in the future, if it ever does happen in the future, those natural instincts kick in. Or now natural taught instincts catch up to you, and just kick in immediately. But these folks in Ukraine, they were never taught how to go and defend their country. And it wasn't like somebody came up to them in the street just all of a sudden and, pointed a gun at him. He just did some natural instinct to protect yourself. They are thinking about what they are doing. They are going out there and doing it. That's an amazing fact. What goes through their mind when they're doing that? Amazing. I don't know. Maybe it's a hope that, this whole thing will come to an end, and they'll never have to, fire a shot. Maybe it's just a hope that, fighting will just be elsewhere and no one have to deal with it. But when it comes down to it, they might have to be the one that stands up. They might have to all of a sudden go into that mode where the adrenaline's flowing, that natural, which is now going to that natural instinct to protect themselves, to be a little bit more forceful, because now they're proactively protecting, and therein lies the difference. That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. But what if we really turn this whole thing around? What if all of that effort, all of that natural instinct, all of that premeditation was just all done in a positive manner, but we don't have these wars anymore. We don't have any of these things, right? We were all kind of working a little bit more together. Gosh, I really thought that we'd be at that point by now. We're not even close. Not even close. I always thought, I'm not kidding around, that, there's going to be some worldwide issue with stuff like that, and we'll all come together. So that movie Independence Day, remember? When the president gave a speech in the movie Independence Day, we were being attacked by aliens. The world declares its Independence Day as the world has one. As one. We all pulled together. I wonder the last time we all pulled together in this country was back in John F. Kennedy's days, when we were landing a man on the moon. Maybe that was when the whole world kind of acted together, and that fell apart pretty quickly too. Went to Vietnam immediately after that one. The rest of that kind of stuff. It's terrible. But what if we really did? Now, I thought in my world of things that, there'd be, even with COVID, that we'd all be acting together a little more so as one. Well, that didn't really come to be, did it? Some of these hurricanes that hit different areas, people chip in, people help, all of us, that stuff is good. Those kind of things are there. But still on a global level, still not hitting it, are we? Definitely not hitting it. So many things. Why? What is that? So what if? What are we at? We're about halfway through here. And in about 4 more seconds, we're halfway through. Let's go with the what if. What if there was no more wars? What if all this money that's spent on the military, on protecting our land, protecting everybody's land, and the rest of that stuff, was all spent in a much more positive light? What if we spent all that money on improving the school systems so everybody got a great education, and then everybody was able to pursue what it is that they're naturally good at doing, pursue what's they're inherently good at? Wouldn't that be kind of fascinating? What if we, I don't know, people kind of came up with a new way, just maybe not a new way, but we put a little bit more effort into it. Maybe we're going to get to that because of all of this stuff with the oil prices going up, with this alternative energy, solar, renewable energy, things like that. What if we really generate electricity and power for free? We We needed equipment, but for the most part, it's all free. What if all that money that was spent on that kind of thing didn't have to be spent on that kind of thing, power and oil, whatever? What if it all was spent on whatever we could do, whatever we wanted to do? Wow, wouldn't that be something, right? So all these militaries disappear, all that goes away. Borders of countries, protecting one's land over another's land. Well, what if we're all helping each other out? It's like we're all acting together to help everybody along. Wouldn't that be nice? Still a lot of negatives in the world that need to be done away with and kind of get that figured out. But I tend to think that somehow, in some, I don't know, future world, maybe we'll get there. That'd be lit. Got to get through a whole lot of obstacles to get to that opportunity, but maybe, maybe just one day we will get there. But if you really just travel freely around the world and use and enjoy some of the most unbelievable places and get a chance to experience some incredible landscapes that are all over. And you probably see it when you turn on your computer. You get these videos or pictures that come up, in your not your screensaver, but when you turn on your computer for the first time, right? They got all these beautiful places all around the world. Wow, wouldn't it be cool to go there? Wouldn't it be cool to go down the Amazon River and not have to worry about anything that's going on? Would it be cool to travel throughout all of South America? Let's go with South America. We'll get to Africa. But about South America and not have to worry about these drug gangs and stuff like that. But just go in the Amazon, experience the rainforest. Just experience the rainforest, see all that land, all the trees, all the bushes, all the different plants, animals, everything like that. Amazing. That'd be something I would love to do. Love to take one of these cruises down the Amazon River. Go with the National Geographic group, right? Bring the camera. Actually, get a real good camera for that one. Kind of learn how to take photos for real and do that stuff. What a trip that would be, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be amazing? Or go to the poles, see that, with the icebergs and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's right. We got that global warming problem, don't we? Yeah. We do have that global warming problem. And I tend to think that, after the ice age, there's no more ice age. We're going to continue to warm up. We're going to have to figure that problem out also. Sea levels rise. Well, they'll continue to go up. Maybe they will continue to go up. I hope that we protect our land a hell of a lot better than what we've been doing. Keep that open space there, because remember, we were traveling all over the place. Go see the Grand Canyon. Go see the Amazon River. Go to Africa, enjoy those rainforests that are in Africa. Go around the Sahara Desert. Go see rhinos, elephants, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, yes. Oh, me, oh, my. Wouldn't that be great? And not have these gangs that are out on all these different places worrying about that stuff. Even Europe. Go throughout Europe and go visit all these countries. Oh, and go see what's going on. Go out to the Himalayas. Go see that. The rivers. Oh, and go visit and go down these cruises. See the artwork. See the architecture that's there. Go visit these castles. Just travel and enjoy that stuff. And then have the disposable income to do that. And to all these countries be open and welcoming with tourism. Travel is such a major part of everybody. And everybody's welcomed. Everybody is welcomed to go visit that stuff. Is that unrealistic? I don't think it's unrealistic. I think right now, maybe it is a little challenging to go through, but I don't think overall that's unrealistic. And then learn about the history of different places. Maybe about the history of some of those religious books that we read. Hey, you had a chance to meet Shlomi a couple of in prior episodes. Fascinating, right? I mean, here he is, Hasidic Jew, Hasidic. All right, and I mean, Payas and Natalis and all the rest of that stuff. The yarmulke, I mean, proudly wearing all that stuff. Proudly wearing all that stuff in countries that one would think might have a reception that's not as welcoming. But man, he did it. He did it. I mean, that one man, he becomes the ambassador right now. with the whole Hasidic community, maybe the whole entire Jewish community. Maybe the ambassador for all of us that celebrate things differently, that have different ways of dress, different looks, different everything. Again, I spoke to a friend of mine. She was talking about how some of the clothing customs in some area, it's not Jewish, but some of the clothing areas in some areas, that just is the way everybody wears. That's the dress. That's what they wear. That's the clothing. You go someplace else, it's like, wow, what are you doing? What are you wearing? That kind of thing. Are you like looking, poking fun at? Ooh, what if? That is like totally acceptable and it's like something that's celebrated. What if it's all celebrated? What if travel around the world was totally celebrated? What if we all brought different people in? Gosh, it's amazing what they're doing. And I think it's either Poland or Hungary, where they're taking all of those uh, uh, immigrants and whatever refugees in, and they're bringing them into their homes, not setting up camps, they're bringing them into their homes. What if it was like that? What if people came to another country not because they were fleeing their own country because it was bad? And boy, that seems to be the case over here. People fleeing their country because there's something bad going on. It would be, you know, you could pick a country. Go pick a country. On that one. But they're going someplace because they want to explore a new place, not just avoid somewhere else. And then we just like love that idea. Oh yeah, that'd be great. Come, we want to show you around. We want to do that, like you would do any of your family members that are visiting you for the first time when you move to a new area. Or you want to take them on a tour of your surrounding community. Some historical places. You take people on a tour of Manhattan to go visit those tourist places that those that live in and around this area just never seem to get to. That's a shame that we don't, but we don't. So we need some company to come in. What if that company was somebody you don't even know? Maybe you just become tourist guide for a day. Just seen some group of people, some family from someplace else, just brought them around. And everybody was like super comfortable doing that because you were proud of where you're at and they were really proud to be able to travel someplace and learn something new. What a world that would be, wouldn't it? I don't know. Maybe it's totally unrealistic. I hope not. I hope not. I don't think it's realistic today. Obviously not. Getting surprise wars by people just didn't expect. I didn't expect, that kind of thing. I thought we were beyond that, but we're not. And it's not even that this is the only thing that's going on. What about all the stuff in the world that is going on today? We don't even talk about it anymore. How sad is that? That's just yesterday's news? Not yesterday's news. Oh, I say, oh, but we're so busy and excited about watching all these videos with people with the anti-maskers and stuff like that. It's like and the racism stuff and the rest of that stuff is like, man, can't we get beyond that? Can't we really get beyond that? Start like really working with people across the board, reaching out, helping somebody, just helping somebody because that's the right thing to do. That was the comments the other day. Got another 5 minutes here. But that was the comments the other day. How do we change this world? How do we change everything? Oh, it's about being nicer to people, right? It's just overall being nicer to people. And then putting more positive stuff out there. We do it with ourselves, right? Don't you? Do those positive affirmations in the morning. Get yourself said, oh, yeah, today's going to be a great day. I know today's going to be a great day. Even if you're kind of wondering in the back of your mind, well, I still got to do this, that, and the other thing, but you really want to make today a great day. It's like, this is what we're going to accomplish. As a friend of mine likes to put it too, those high impact items, not the junky stuff you got to do, but the high impact items. Focus on that. 3. Pick 3 things. Pick 3 things that you're going to do today that are going to be really good, really impactful for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And maybe one of those 3 things is reaching out to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while. So did yesterday. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the funny part is that person, she was putting it out too, that she wanted to reach out to different people and deliver a message. I never saw the message she wanted to deliver, but it turned out it's the same thing. And a lot of it has to do with what she was talking about was helping Ukraine, showing the people in Ukraine that we all do care. Well, we're going to do that because it's the right thing to do. Well, what about showing everybody else in this world too that, hey, we really do care? And I'd venture to say that most of us really do care. Maybe we just don't show it, but perhaps we should. Maybe that really becomes the actionable side of this whole conversation here today, right? Actionable side. What are we going to do? What are 3 things we're going to do? Well, one of them is going to be figuring out what 3 things you could do over the course of a day that would be high impact. High impact. What is it going to make you smile at the end of the day? Say, you know what? Even though I had to deal with this, that, and the other thing, I did 3 things today that really worked for me. There you go. There's the 3 things. Now you got to decide, what are those 3 things? What are those 3 things? Is there 3 things that you need to do for you? Could be, oh, I need to get up in the morning and start off my day with a glass of water. That's where I get my water in for the day. Start off immediately, right? Cleanse that system out. Get myself a little bit healthier as we're going through. Work with the body inside and out. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that is where you're at right now. And that's fine. That really is fine. You're eating healthier, so that's good. You're getting a little exercise, that's good. And then maybe you're going to one of your, to your religious place or law of attraction place or yoga place or meditation place, whatever. So you're doing body, mind, and soul. Maybe that's really where you're at right now. That's fine. That's all good. Maybe it's business. Maybe it's business. Maybe it's a matter of, making sure that at the beginning of each day, you've got a sheet in front of you that you know what it is that you got to do, what it is that you want to do, what it is that you might do. There you go. You got 3 things in there. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you got a little bit more flexibility now. I could start focus on the outward side of things. Hey, what nonprofit do you want to support? Well, let me give them a call, share a post each and every day about that. That might be one thing to do. Another thing to do, maybe to reach out to somebody that you know, friend that you haven't spoken to in a while, family member you haven't spoken to in a while. Oh, we all have them, without a doubt, doing that. Maybe it's then a matter of that third person to reach out to would be someone that you friends with on LinkedIn that you really have no clue in the world as to what they really even look like, what they sound like, what it is that they really do besides what they got written down in that about section, which may not even be current. Who knows? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's where we need to start. And once we start there, maybe then we can expand out, reaching out to the community, go and help out in different ways there. Spoken to somebody today, got a phone call, want me to help out with one of these career days. Bet you I'm going to be there for that one, without a doubt. So I'm going to make some opening comments on that career day. There's other events too that are coming up. You want to reach out to the public, you can do that too. So you got the career day for one, that HIA, the Hauppauge Industrial Association trade show. We're working closely with Ron Loveland, the manufacturing group, stuff like that. Go and figure out what kind of a panel discussion to have that day and that introduce the schools, school administration, workforce development people at the schools, maybe students at the schools, maybe those in transition, looking for jobs to see what's available within for the workforce today and in the future, within the manufacturers on Long Island. And there's so many of them, and there's so many positions that are open. So you got somebody that needs a little assistance on the career side of things, there's different ways of doing that too. Maybe it's just you going on there and just sharing some post someplace. Department of Labor puts out, lists all the time. There's a number of other folks that are, got job openings that are here on the island. You can share those things. There's so many things that can be done. So how do we clearly do this thing? All right, really clearly, 3 actionable ideas. 1, figure out what means the most to you. Is it your own growth, somebody else's growth, or reaching out to the community? Pick one. Pick one. Pick one. And each day, work toward that whole thing. Each day, work toward that. I think that'd be a great thing to do. So do one thing for yourself, exercise, whatever. One thing for somebody else, reach out, make a phone call, share a post, something like that. And the third thing, encourage somebody else to do it. That's how we're going to do this thing, because that will fill up this whole world with a lot more positives, and maybe it'll kind of lessen those negatives there. And let's get people excited about the positives. That is how we're all going to make a difference. That's going to make a big deal. Speak well, my friends. Speak well, speak often, live inspired. it just might inspire somebody else to do the same thing.